There are a lot of characters in the Rivals of Aether workshop, and there are a lot of creators in the Rivals of Aether workshop. That's how that works. But today we're going to be looking at one creator who's made a bunch of characters. SAI, I believe is how they're called. If they're not, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. SAI is one of the most prolific creators in all of the Rivals Workshop. This person has been working really hard, maybe harder than the actual developers themselves. No, but SAI has been working on Workshop for a very long time. They're actually one of the earlier creators. Zeta is one of the first major original characters that come out of the Workshop that is still fairly popular to this day. They have made
9
many characters. And not only that, just a little tidbit about this creator is they've also even encouraged the community to create a bunch of characters in the Versus SAI competition, which basically this person is so prolific, so fast at making characters, they challenge the community to make a character faster than themselves, which is just a really neat way to encourage the community to step up and just make a bunch of characters. I think it's healthy for us, the player. Right? Props to SAI for doing all that. And so today, I felt like we'd do something a little different instead of just looking at random Mario, Ronald McDonald. We'd look at lesser known in the larger scape of YouTube, but a creator that is definitely deserving of it. So we're just gonna look at all their characters. I'm gonna talk about them, be like, hey, this is pretty cool. Wow. Something interesting about SAI's characters are they're not really like the design of Rivals characters. If you are interested in the design of Rivals characters, hey, check out this video. And while SAI's characters aren't really at all like Rivals characters, they do offer a lot of depth. The main draw of these characters is just the sheer creativity that is very apparent in them. And they're just really hype. They're crazy, they're insane, they're definitely overpowered when compared to the original Rivals base cast. But it doesn't really matter because in a sense, SAI kind of made them internally balanced in a way, as much as they can be obviously tiny community, subset of a tiny community, which is Workshop. So, they're as balanced as they can be, I guess. And it's not like SAI has abandoned them, SAI still works on them, so they'll probably only get better as time goes on. So I think it's worth downloading all these characters and playing them against each other, and even against whoever, whatever. They are fun characters, and so let's take a look. Just one thing to mention before we get started. Yes, I know this is what my hair looks like. It's quarantine, and I didn't want to do this. I didn't go to the barber and be like, hey, make it look like so I just exited the Matrix. Anyway, the first character we're going to be looking at is Nolan. I'm really happy that SAI made this character because it looks like Ronald, which means I can put it in the thumbnail. Ronald McDonald. People still like that thing. It's not old. Still like Ronald, huh? Did you know that Ronald McDonald's the only character in Workshop and I've never played video games ever? I hate Rivals, but I love Ronald. Anyway, Nolan looks like Ronald. Yes, this is on purpose. It is a bit of a parody. If you want to know the hardcore Workshop community's feelings on Ronald, check out this video. Wow, I'm plugging a lot of videos today. I'm like a goddamn Disney shill. So anyway, Nolan is actually a really fun character, visually inspired by Ronald, but although the feel is quite different from Ronald. Nolan is basically built around this meter mechanic. You're going to see meters a lot when we're talking about SAI characters. That's kind of like a go-to design element. The meter is extremely swingy in the way it works. If you have a lot of meter, you're going to do really well. If you have no meter, then you kind of just can't get meter anymore. It's very difficult to gain meter back. It's really dependent on the giant burger attack. This is what I'm talking about. Nolan's great because it's a good introduction to the SAI type of character. SAI characters are extremely flashy, bombastic, and yet not as crazy as Ronald. Nolan is way toned down to Ronald. If you want to be really good with Nolan, you have to be good with Nolan. It's not just an easy character that you can pick up and just win games like with Ronald. You actually really have to manage the meter, and that's part of the fun. When you actually figure stuff out and you're throwing out burgers and you're using all your effects and you're calling in your care package, it's pretty great. Next up, we have a bunch of Sorties. Half of SAI's characters are Sorties. Zeta, Mayu, and Saji. Also, by the way, I'm probably going to pronounce everything wrong, ever. I can't speak English. Zeta, like I've mentioned before, one of the first Workshop characters, actually probably one of the most basic of SAI's characters. Not that that means this character's basic by any means, just in comparison on the SAI curve, Zeta is actually one of the most simple characters.
Hello Adam, Carra from the future here. Zeta had a major change since I recorded this video. Now she has some kind of meter thing, but I won't bother explaining explaining it since it could be changed again just like everything else in this video, so f me I guess. I'll just move on now.
Next up, Mayu. Mayu's like kind of Zeta 2.0. Not really, they actually function fairly differently. Mayu has a meter. Oh my gosh, remember meters? I said that earlier. Wow, I'm a G. Yes. Mayu's got a meter that builds up when you hit them, and you can stab yourself to gain more meter. It basically empowers all your specials. I really like Mayu because the side B's got some good movement. You can flippity flap it around. And meter in general is just like a fun mechanic to play around in Rivals, and you don't really see this with the base cast. This character is probably one of the more easy / busted characters because their moves are just really good, and you have a sword. Swords are just broken. I mean, you know, just like real life. And then also we have Sage, probably I think the biggest SAI character, just in sheer literal size. Sage's more of like your power character. He's got a big old Spartan kick. And then the best thing about him is his fair has an extremely late hit, which does a bonk and it spikes with 0 hit stun. It's the funniest thing, but when it works, it's great. Next up, we have one of my personal favorites, Elise. I like that this character, like, SAI actually played around with, like, just the basic movement. Elise kind of has, like, an arcane-y sort of thing. Elise, like, slides around because the skating on ice or whatever. It's a theme. I don't know the lore. I don't care. Oh yeah, by the way, I should point out that all these characters have some sort of backstory and lore or whatever that, as a true gamer, I don't give any f***s about. But hey, if that's what you're into, that, you know, it's there. Elise has these insane snowballs. This is why I like the character so much, is you basically charge up a big old snowball, and then your side special has some synergy with it where it'll stop it, or you can blow it up into a million billion pieces. Another crazy bombastic thing that'll make all your buddies go, ha! Yes, JoJo reference or whatever, because JoJo invented time stopping because you're a zoomer and you don't know anything else but memes and depression. But it's really cool, although not the best, like, mechanic, because it's like, it's either gonna be really broken or you're just not gonna do anything with it and you're gonna be underwhelmed. But it is flashy and it is fun, so there's that to it. And like, it'll freeze your specials, so you can create some insane situations with it. Definitely one of my favorite characters out of all of them. Next up, we go from a weaker character to a busted character, Katie, who is sort of a mix between and Dante. There's far more Dante than actual Doomslayer. I know, as a Doom fan, I'm kind of disappointed. I wish there was more Doomslayer than Dante, but hey, what are you gonna do? SAI clearly likes anime. Katie's got insanely giant hitboxes. This is easily the most SAI character, like kind of how I talked about with Sylvanas being like the most Rivals of E3 character. This is the most representation of like the SAI style. Katie's hitboxes are giant and they're fast and she's busted. Now again, take my balance with a grain of salt. Character's still extremely fun. Basically, her main thing is that besides her giant insane hitboxes, is she has actually got this meter. Oh my gosh, a meter? Didn't I say that before? What's neat is there's an RNG mechanic to it, which, you know, competitively actually is bad. Because we hate RNG. I don't know why I'm looking over here. There's nothing over here. And as it builds, there's different tiers, and you can then activate it once it's hit any of these different tiers, and the higher the tier, the more powerful it is. What's interesting is within each tier, there are a random set of weapons that you'll get. They're all insane. Some are more insane than others, and they're all cool references to a bunch of video games. You guys play those, right? Not just anime. Next up, another sortie, but I separated this one because I really like this sortie, no bias. This is Ooza, the character I've actually talked about in a different video, I believe in the Rana video. Oh my gosh, I'm wearing the same shirt. That's crazy. I really like Ooza because this character is slow. When you play a lot of workshop characters, you start to get really sick of fast characters because everybody makes fast characters. To be fair, in Rivals in general, since it's a game without shields, movement is your shield. So like, being slow is a bigger weakness in Rivals than it is in other games, maybe. I don't know, look at me, okay? Don't take anything I say seriously. But anyway, I really like that she's slow because it's just something you don't see that often. God, it doesn't want me to cover these characters. I'm just letting you know. This is a sin against humanity. So anyway, Ooza, she's slow, but she got big hitboxes, which actually work together pretty well. That's like a kind of a common trope you'll see in platform fighting characters. One thing though with Ooza is she has like this meter point charge mechanic where her side special can then be canceled into the other moves, so you actually do have some movement if you're willing to play around mechanics. Oh my gosh, depth, that's crazy. Down B is probably my favorite move out of all the characters, out of like pretty much anything I've seen in the platform fighter. I love how ridiculous it is, but at the same time, like, it's not like too broken. I mean, maybe it is, I don't know. It's super cool regardless, and that's kind of SAI in a nutshell. Is it broken? Yeah, probably, but do I enjoy it? Yes. Alex, this character is my personal #1 favorite. Alex's main thing is he puts like an effect on the opponent, and then if it builds up to a certain point, you see this giant field, and then you can use your neutral B basically to teleport to your opponent, kind of similar to Lucario. It's not exactly like PM Lucario, but there's, you know. Like, what's cool about Alex is, like, all of his moves feel very straightforward. Just, like, on the surface, there's something useful about them. But when you start combining the tools, you're like, oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities. And that's, like, the hallmark of good design, right? That's the easy to learn, difficult to master aspect of design that fighting game people love to say so much. And Alex is no exception to that. There's just so many different ways you can use that teleport. It's a great mechanic. So yeah, that's SAI's characters. There's a lot to them. I basically just am introducing the tip of the iceberg. Hello, Adam Carra from the future again. No robot voice this time. SAI, again, so prolific and fast that they made another character before I was even done editing this video. I don't have enough time to go into this. This character seems really complicated and really cool. I have no idea how this character works, but hey, go check it out as well. Anyway, this video wasn't to just go in and break down the mechanics of each and every one, because it would take me all day to do that, and God doesn't want me to do it, so you should definitely check out all the characters. I will put links or a link in the description, either the SAI's page or to each one of the characters, somewhere down there. If you just scroll down, click like 2 buttons, you can get them. You know, don't just play Ronald, play Nolan. Yeah, go down, check out those characters. By the way, I'm making a character myself, and I'm streaming the process. But hey, if you want to see me, Adam Carra, learn how to make a character, links in the description, follow me on Twitch, and you know, that's the end of the video. So blammo, there's some names here if you want to join those names. If you sub to me on Twitch or support me on Patreon, you can join those people, those wonderful, wonderful people there. Like the video, algorithm, yada yada, subscribe, more videos. See you on the flip flap.